Dave, what was it about Joe that kind of attracted you?
In watching the film, the prelude of whatever game we got next, it happened to be that K-State played them prior, and it just throughout the season, it happened that I'm watching a lot of K-State defense because they really have this team figured out. They're playing cover two at the right times. They're pressuring when they need to pressure. They're not getting caught with screens versus pressure or movement. Yeah, you're just going through it. This guy's got these other guys figured out, and it happened multiple times. And so I told him that when we finally talked, is that, man, throughout the year it just seemed hey, there's all these games to look at. What's the most important game? Watch the K-State game. So way impressed with his body of work.
You kind of mentioned that he's going to be, the plan is for him to call plays. How
Yes.
does it change your role on the defense, and what are your responsibilities next season?
And doing both or trying to do both, you just get pulled in so many different ways. And I think there's more you wish you could do that you can't do, and you need to be able to have other eyes to help you, or you need to have other systems to kind of raise their level, to build all the things that go into it, whether it's this meeting starts on time, this meeting ends on time. Hey, these are the processes that are all lights out, and hey, this practice is being run this way, and all this, when your head's down in a script, and we're supposed to be playing a third, and you just got to see 2-1, and all this other thing, you're not seeing those other things, and so then you watch the film, and you do all of it, and you talk to people, and you coach them up on, hey, this is what you got to be looking for, and all that. What I'm looking forward to is now I get to do all of that, and have the eyes to see all the things that are making up the thing, and really work to push our coaches and our players to a higher standard. And I'm excited to do that.
This is, obviously you've had Ron Roberts and then Powledge and then you. Is it gonna be hard for you to give this up, or is this
No.
something you just have to?
No, I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to do it. And to have coach of Joe's caliber, and I know that one of the greatest things that I think that you all are going to come to find out is that he is just a people person, and the connection and just the relationships are real, and guys play for him, and guys want to play for him, and guys want to be in his company, and I think that's just going to be such a huge strength for us, and just really feel really good about this and the potential of it, and I'm excited to be a head coach again.
Did you talk to Coach Klanderman about him?
I did.
What kind of feedback did you get from him?
Really strong. Said that's his guy. Said that he's been with him forever, and there's been opportunities that he's had that he hasn't moved on. Said this is a time for him too, and Coach was just really, really strong on just their relationship and who he is at his core, and so very fortunate for us that we get Joe.
As Smoke said, there's been a number
Mhm.
of coordinators. For you guys to have the success that you want, do you have to have stability there, or is this just the nature of the beast?
Yeah, you like it when things are going good. I think it lends itself probably to more stability when you're trying to working through losses and just not success. Then I think this is the nature of the beast here. I think the opportunity of the transfer portal and just players coming and going, and there's a higher level of urgency with me and with us on getting guys that love football, getting guys that can contribute, getting guys that fit the demands at Baylor academically, and can meet the standards that we have athletically with all the money that's involved. I think it just even adds to it. And so I think having Coach and his ability to have really strong relationships in a real authentic way, I think will help.
You heard from many of the players. You said he obviously met with a couple of them. Have you heard from them? Are they excited?
Yeah, they are. We're working through that. I think he met with all the D linemen today, and so we're really working on keeping the guys that we're aiming to keep, and focusing on building this team with guys that love ball and want to be here.
Dave, there's an injunction that is being looked at today that might give players 5 years rather than the whatever.
Mhm.
Seems like some are 10, but how does that affect you managing your roster with the portal, those coming and going? Have you even paid much attention to that?
I have. Yeah, it would be yet another thing. I think, I think the things that are for the players, I'm for them. I just think, what gets in the way of that are agents and, you know, things that really aren't in the player's favor. And so I think that's the first thing I think about is how would agents get into this? How would they manipulate to move this or move that? And so I think that's a constant battle. That's something that we're battling right now in terms of, the portal is not open, and you're fighting all the things that are going on prior to the portal being open. But I think it's just the nature of where we are. College football is at.
I feel like you're in a good position for the transfer portal. I mean, how do you keep up with? Because, like you said, it hadn't opened yet, but I guess some of the guys that are going in, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the number one thing for us is retention of our guys. Really fighting for the guys that we want to be here, that want to be here, and want to do all the things that Baylor requires, all the things that this team's going to require. So we're really working hard for those guys, and that's going to be relationships. That's going to be sitting down. That's going to be honest conversations, and so those things are the most important thing. Then, two would be, hey, let's identify guys that are out there that kind of fit the needs that we got. Let's have an idea of the ranking of how this works and all of that, and so that when the portal does open, we have a list to go to.
With the changes on the defensive side and the way last season went, is retention harder, easier? Like, how does that affect kind of what you want to do retention-wise?
I think it's always hard because I think it's natural for people to get, for their self to get tied up with how much they're getting paid, and I think it's natural. I think you'll have conversations of whether you're winning or losing. Hey, I was sick and I didn't feel like going to practice, but I went to it and I played through it. Or hey, I didn't miss one workout in the summertime. Or hey, I didn't really play, but I studied the entire time and I was ready with all my notes. And if you quizzed me, I would have got it. And while all of those things are really, there's a lot of positive stuff in there. Unfortunately, the money doesn't go to that. Money goes to production, and I just think that's just very hard. I think and I think adults do this too, where your self is your perception of you is tied into your money number, and I think that's a very difficult thing to kind of get into with young people, but that's totally where it's at. And you try to make the good argument, and I think I talk from my own experience and from what I've seen and from things in the past dealing with kids and stuff, and you hope that it gets through. Sometimes it doesn't get through.
Dave, when it comes to making decisions on personnel, you're the head coach, but he's the defensive coordinator. Then you have Hunt, the GM, position coaches. What's the protocol when it comes to making a call on a player?
Yeah, we try to have as many talks that are open and honest as possible, and I think you really have to, we talked about that again today, just the communication part. The number one thing there is vulnerability. Like, we have to say the hard stuff out loud. We have to communicate what's real, and I think that's uncomfortable. It's living in that, and so you're talking about a player, a student athlete, as in the locker room. You're talking about him, how is it when he's playing? How is it when he's not playing? What's his work habits like? Is he helping you or hurting you when he's not on the field? I think all those things go into it. And so some of my view of it will be different from the position coach's view. And some of coach's view is going to be different, kind of coming in just new and kind of knowing, hey, this is what I looked at when I studied tape. And so I think it's really important to put all of that out there and try to connect the dots as best as possible. And then, the decision will finally end up with me, but it's got to be something that, hey, we leave this room, this is what we're saying, this is what we're thinking, and this is what it was. But I think when you have the ability for everyone to say their piece, it paints a clearer picture of what it is. A lot of times, all that stuff's difficult. People are always going to be that way. It's going to be not an easy black or white thing.
probably tough to tell right now, but how much of your system is going to remain in this system, and how much does he have carte blanche to kind of change what you'll have?
Oh, yeah, he's changing it. Yeah, so there's not going to be very much left over. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited for him. I know the players are ready too, so it's a good move.
As far as the D-line coach goes, how close are y'all on that?
You know, this was number one, and so we're glad that we got that. I know Coach is helping right now. I think the thing there is to find people that really want to be here, that understand what Baylor is and the mission here and what it means, not only athletically but academically, and you know, the spiritual component here. I think those things are important. This is one of my first conversations with Joe was with all that. And you could just tell that he was excited about it and wanted to be a part of. And so we need to find a D-line coach that fits that same mold. And so we're in the process of doing that now. I think it is important to get that hire, though. We need it for all the spots that we need to fill.
What have your interactions with Doug McNamee been like?
Been great. I really liked our talks. It just strikes me as just so genuine. And, you know, I believe what he says.
As far as the way he focuses on a lot of the fan engagement stuff, do you feel like maybe you don't have to worry about that as much? You won't get asked about it as much?
No, I'm excited for him. I know he is very excited about attacking those areas. You know, I know the best way to get people to come to games is for us to play better and to win, and so I know that that's a big part of all of that I've got to do, that we've got to do here.
Yes.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you guys. Yeah.